Hearts of Stone, the first of the two planned expansions for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, not only adds a whole plethora of content, it manages to breathe new life into a game that's already 150 plus hours long. The content that's added fits excellently well into Geralt's story, and the new tone of the expansion gives a new set of terrain without straying too far from the original. The expansion can take around 5 to 6 hours for the main story, and around 10 to 12 plus to finish everything else. To start the new expansion, you can continue from your previous save from the base game, or create a fresh level 32 Geralt that gets you straight into the mix. From there, you receive a quest that leads you to the new antagonist in more ways than one, and, like all of Geralt's adventures, things take a turn for the strange. Though no new region to travel to has been added to the game, there are plenty of new locations you will travel to that you might notice weren't in the original game map. It fills in the once dull region of Oxenford, and creates far more lively, exciting, and morally questionable moments. Locations that were added in for the quests range from more of the same to, am I even in the same map anymore? I found myself awed at some of the areas because of the incredible amount of atmosphere they gave off. The gameplay is still very much the same as the base game. The ability to hold 4 potions and oils was added in with a patch that also released alongside Hearts of Stone, which allows more strategies to be executed without constantly diving inside and outside the menus. You can expect more boss fights and new enemies. Within the first hour, I had encountered 2 things I didn't even think existed in the Witcher world. With the expansion, a new merchant called the Runesmith was added, and with him, you can further hone your weapons and armor, adding in lots of cool perks, finely tuning the perfect build, though be prepared to dish out quite a bit of coin, as the startup costs are not exactly cheap. The main quest provides significantly more variety and tone in 6 hours than the Wild Hunt did in 12. There are many chaotic as well as lighthearted and even some creepy moments present within the story. The main questline was thrilling. Around every corner there was always a new surprise or twist, and I found myself preparing for literally anything the further I dived deeper into the game, as the strangeness and the shock escalates to an extent almost beyond Wild Hunt's main storyline. I can't stress how great the tone is, and the changes that it takes along the ride. The characters are joyous in Hearts of Stone. The mysterious man you met in the prologue of the game, though I doubt you'll remember him, really puts you on edge because of his shadiness. I found myself mystified about his origin and just who he really was. Old Geard von Everett, a grizzly, uncaring man, gives you your initial contract, and you can't help but think from the moment you met him that it won't be the last. You get involved in between the business of old Geard von Everett and this mysterious man, and the new brand on your forehead is the main motivation for solving the dilemmas that persist. The events that are caused by evolving these two and Geralt are masterful. If you played the first Witcher game, you may remember Shani. She's very much unlike Triss and Yennefer. She instead is most like Geralt, a surgeon who cares very much about her work. And yes, she is romantical. I won't say any more as I don't want to spoil anything else. The characters really carry the main story with a serious tone, but in contrast, comedic breaks lighten the mood, and dark moments crush it. They are some of, if not, the best characters CD Projekt Red have ever written. Although I very much enjoyed the expansion, it had some glaring problems. One certain boss fight was just borderline maddening on how difficult it was. It could kill me in 2 hits, and I was leveled up to 37 with max gear. On the topic of bosses, all but one of them were actually quite easy, as there was one spell that made it very simple to get tons of hits in. These boss fights mostly boil down to stun, hit 3 times, roll away, and repeat until they're dead. The expansion's pacing spans from gritty battles in sickening areas to quiet moments by the lakeside. It is great up until it takes a large halt in the middle of the main questline, in which I didn't unsheath my blade for nearly 2 hours. The final challenge Geralt faces in the main quest fell a bit short, as it succumbs to the amount of momentum leading up to it, though the scenes that follow the end are ones that are pretty incredible. What I like to call the Witcher grind, where you look around with your Witcher sense until you find some sort of clue and then follow the trail, is still present. It is balanced out with new puzzles that I much more enjoyed. I never did get stuck for more than 30 seconds on a single puzzle, so I'd say that they're a bit too handhold. New select armor and weapons in the game are there, and they look gorgeous, but if you fail to loot the wrong area, you can miss out on some of the new items, something that the main game never did. The side quests are there like they are in the main game, with your find the lost guy or slay this monster, and they're about as mediocre here as they were there. Hearts of Stone is a top-notch expansion, and while there are some problems like some very mediocre boss fights, missteps in the pacing, and a lackluster final challenge, Hearts of Stone prevails brilliantly with an amazing plot, fantastically written characters, and magnificent tone and atmosphere. $9 could not be spent much better.